We talk a lot about current projects and then tasks related to those projects, but what if you have a bazillion tasks that don't have a home? How do you get all of those done? We received so many questions, and so today we are answering that. When I say a task doesn't have a home, let me talk about 4 of the regular homes where our tasks can lie. First would be if it is related to a project. So if I'm doing something like I'm going to organize my office, some of those tasks would be clear the right drawer, clear the left drawer, clear the top, things like that. Those are tasks related to a project. Another home, though, is that tasks are related to routines. So for example, if you're saying, oh, I'm going to go exercise and I'm going to go buy some healthy food and I'm going to, go do some cooking in the kitchen, those are all tasks related to a routine of good health. They're also tasks that would just belong on the calendar because they have a deadline where it's something like, I need to mail this bill by this date, right? Something like that. And then another home for tasks are just wrapped up in the 2-minute rule, which means if a task takes 2 minutes or less, you just do it, you don't write it down. But what if you have tasks that don't belong in any of those categories? Then what? So 3 of the questions that came in from our community members here at Learn to Become were, number 1, where do I put a survey that's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes, but I need to fill that out? Another question was, how about returning a keyboard that I borrowed? And a final one was, I just need to find a place to get a couple boxes of paper shredded. Okay, so those are just kind of 3 random tasks. Let's dive in and I'll show you how to make those effortless and feel like it's just fun to get them done. For these 3 scenarios that I introduced, the survey, returning the keyboard, and finding a place to shred the boxes, I'm just going to share 4 different solutions that are possibilities so that you can pick the one that you like. So first one is just a next actions list. This is my next actions list for this week, and it's still empty because I'm just making it, but it's home, computer, errands, phone call, and to discuss. So for these 3 things, I would put the survey in the home, I would put the returning the keyboard in the errands, and then under computer, I would say research places to get the paper shredded. So that's pretty simple. Another option would be essentially to create a next in line, next actions list. That means that you won't necessarily get it checked off this week, but it's a separate list with the same context that you can review each week and pull them on as you need to. Because if none of these have deadlines, it's okay if they don't happen this week. You just don't want to forget them. So having this next in line, next actions list is something that you could either, pull them in during a weekly review as you're making your new list for the week and planning it. Or let's say I'm out running errands. If I've completed all the errands on this week's list, and if my next in line, next actions list is digital or it's something I keep, in my planner close to me, I could just open that and say, oh, what are the other errands that I would like to do at some point? So that way I'm giving myself plenty of space. I'm not crowding this week's list with 500 things that don't have to happen this week, because that's just a recipe for disaster. So instead, I would just have a short list for this week, this nice next in line list to do as I want, and eventually those will get done. As you build your full command central, which is what I teach all the time here on the channel, you're going to find that you're going to have fewer and fewer one-off tasks that are, coming up, and you'll have better systems in place so you won't feel like you're living in overwhelm so often. So one thing that I do right now is I just put random tasks right on my calendar on a day that I think makes the most sense. Now, I don't like to write something on a calendar and then move it to the next day or not have it done. And so what I do that helps with this is I use Asana. It's a free software that has been awesome. And I will put the task in Asana and say, oh, I think I want to do this on Tuesday. So then every Tuesday I get a little email from Asana, or I just open it up in the morning as I'm planning my day. I see the things that I slated for that day, and then I put it down if I think, yeah, actually this will work today. And I just go ahead and put it on the calendar and get it done. Now, if it's not a good day or if it's busy, yeah, I can readjust in Asana, kind of move that around. I just try to spend as little time as possible shuffling tasks, because in the past I spent 4 hours shuffling tasks that would have taken a total of 30 minutes to do, and that's just, it just feels ridiculous. So if you could think, yes, I could put it on the calendar. If my calendar's open, I have bandwidth, it makes sense, I feel good, then you don't have to worry about putting it on a next actions list or a next in line, next actions list. You just say, hey, I'll do that Friday. The fourth solution that I'll cover today is just creating routines that accommodate all of these kinds of one-off tasks. So I'm just going to go through these 3 scenarios and show you how that would work. So the first one was a survey that takes 15 minutes to complete. If you have maybe 2 or 3, maybe fewer than 5 small tasks that need to happen each day, you may just have a routine that at the end of your workday, before you close up your computer or finish up, you just say, hey, I'm going to finish any little tasks for the day. So that's personally what I do is after I'm done my big projects and things and I'm about to close up my computer, I typically have maybe 2 or 3 pieces of paper that are in my planner, maybe a couple emails in the inbox, and I just know, oh yeah, I'll just get all of those done and then I'm done for the day. So then I don't have to write it down or think about it. I just know I have a few minutes set aside to just do it. The scenario where the person needed to just return a keyboard, you could have a routine where you just run errands on a certain day each week, and anything that needs to go out is just going to be in your car, maybe in a box in the trunk or something like that. So for example, if I know I need to drop off a birthday card to someone, or I need to return something to a store, or I need to, take something to the post office or go get something notarized or whatever, I could have a little clipboard or a box or something already in my van. And then I just know I have errand time maybe blocked out on my calendar or a routine. I do errands, every Saturday before grocery shopping or something like that. So that way, when something comes up and you think, oh, I need to do this, you could just say, oh yeah, I do it during my errand time. Here it goes in the box. For the final scenario where someone needed to shred a couple boxes and figure out even where to take that, you could create a routine where you delegate to someone in your home or your organization who can do some of those tasks to help you. For example, we have a 16-year-old son who loves to drive. And so if I give him a list of tasks or a few things to look up online for me, then he can do those things and it's great. So you might not have a teenage son like I do, but there may be a neighbor or a friend or someone that you would love to be hired to just do some of these extra tasks. So that could be a routine to just work with someone to offload a few extra things that are on your plate. Sometimes these one-off tasks can just feel like they loom over our heads, or they can take a lot of time, or they just take our bandwidth and take a lot of energy. But when you learn how to build the whole Command Central, how to create your projects lists and next actions lists and all the things that are going to support you, you just start to feel calm and peaceful, and then everything gets done. We have a free training to walk you through this, help you build your current projects list and identify your next actions and get moving on your Command Central totally free. So click the link in the description and you can go right in. We're so excited to have you here. Thanks for being with us at Learn, Do, Become.